Hey there, welcome to Have You Asked Your Dad? This is the podcast where we ask questions to dads that they don't normally get asked, and today, for the first time, we're doing it as a video. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, go to youtube.com/AfroDaddy and you should find the video version of this exact thing right there. But you don't have to go through all that effort because it is the same thing. We just want to make this available to as many people as possible. Now, since both Sean and I are back from holiday, I thought a great question to ask would be, what is the best day off you could have as a dad? What are all the components that make up just some time away or some time relaxing? What does that look like for a dad? So while you think about what your answer would be, this is what Sean and I had to say about what our best days off would look like. First Lieutenant Lutz, hello, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of the things, all of the jazz.
Welcome to 2023, Uncle Terrence. It's good to see you.
I'm still waiting for my flying car. Wasn't that supposed to be? We're way beyond 2000. Do you remember that show, Beyond 2000?
Yeah,
We are so
no.
beyond 2000. None of those things have happened. But yes, we are in 2023. It's the first episode of the new year. Very exciting.
And I'm thrilled to be here with you on this balmy evening. I don't know about you. It's been warm in Cape Town of late. Do you get to cool off?
I think I cooled off maybe a little bit more than you because I'm closer to the mountain. Your side, it stays, the ground picks up the heat so much more in the northern suburbs.
Yeah, it's what makes the wine really good. The grapes, dry air, the warmth in the soil. It all adds to that process of producing really great bottles of wine.
You can really taste the sunshine in every Cab Sav.
Yes. But in summer, good Sauvignon Blanc goes down really well. Maybe a Pinot of sorts. I've gotten into my pink wines lately. I don't know. It's something about the holidays makes you drink pink drinks. I don't know about you.
I forgot the name. What's that wine that comes in a box? That's my favorite. The 5 liter.
I had just taken a sip of water and I nearly had squirts everywhere.
We're not talking about wine today because this is a podcast where we ask questions that dads don't normally get asked. Sean's a dad. I'm a dad. We're asking questions that we don't get asked enough. And today's question, because we're both kind of come off a bit of a holiday, today was my first day back at work after 3 weeks on leave. So that's why I'm asking this question is, what is your perfect day's leave? Like as a dad, does your perfect day's leave involve? And I've had 3 weeks of practicing and testing what my perfect day's leave involves. But what about you, Sean? What is your, like, what comes to mind when you think of a day off?
If I could have no responsibilities,
So truly off,
that would be it. That, like, completely, like, now I say this on the back of also having about a 3-week break, so to speak. But there's still stuff that needs to get done.
Always.
Why it's still there? Why won't it just go away and leave me alone for a little bit, please? I mean, that's what I think the ultimate day's leave could be. But as a parent to a child with special needs, there's always something that finds you. So I think maybe the ultimate day's leave would be exactly that. I don't want to have to be at anybody's beck and call for anything whatsoever. I will take responsibility of my hygiene for the day, and that's it.
And even that's iffy.
And that's like, I might not. Yeah.
But would you be able to do that guilt-free? Would you be able to, like,
No.
have a day if someone came in and said, we're taking all those responsibilities away from you, you just do like literally as you described, would you spend the day really truly enjoying that freedom, or would there be a little bit of you inside that's going, I have responsibilities that I'm not fulfilling right now?
Yeah, this is a question I've been pondering over the last few days. It's funny that you bring this up. I'm on James Clear's, I've subscribed to James Clear's 321 newsletter. If you haven't done it yet, I think it's like, he's got like 2 million subscribers. And his emails come in over the last year, and I don't read them all because you're subscribed, but who reads everybody's
Yeah,
newsletters?
no one's
Let's be
got time
honest.
for that. No, that's crazy.
But I love the concept of 321 because it offers you 3 ideas, 2 quotes, and one thing for you to ponder. So 3 ideas from him, 2 quotes from others, and then one question for me to think about. And the one that came through this week was very much along what you've just said. If you had to take away all of your responsibilities and then slowly add the ones back that bring you joy, as opposed to starting the year going, I've got all of these responsibilities. How do I let go of a few of them on the way? Go the other way around and go, I've got none. Which ones am I going to
Mm.
take on? And I don't know that I could do it. I do definitely have this sense of responsibility that has followed me probably since I was a child. Have I got a couch somewhere close by me? I feel like I should be lying down telling you this story.
This is secretly what this podcast is actually about. It's a mental health journey for dads. So
Thank you.
you're
Thank
doing
you.
the right thing right now, Shona.
Yeah, to that extent, I'm not sure that I would be able to fully enjoy the day without responsibilities. I know I'm going to need to be back by a certain time. And in my case, my day ends at like 3 because then I step in and parent, for the rest of the
Sure.
afternoon. I don't know about you. Do you feel you could actually switch off and enjoy the day? I hope you can. Please tell me you can. Somebody has to be able to do this.
Somebody has to, and one of us has to pick up that the burden of relaxing properly. I
Yes,
don't
please.
think that's me, unfortunately,
No.
because in addition to feeling that I have these responsibilities that I should be doing, I also feel like this almost would be a layer of guilt that I am enjoying myself without my family, like without my kids. I almost feel like I should be joyful and love every moment with my kids all the time, and that even when it's a burden, it's still amazing and they're precious and they're a gift. And all those things are true. And I 100% agree with all of those things. But when I get given a chance not to be with my kids, there's definitely a moment where I feel guilty that I'm enjoying myself too much without them. If that makes any sense. Like I know what the right answer should be. For me, the right answer should be I don't need to have any time apart from my family. I don't need any me time. I don't need time away from my kids because every moment I have with them is a precious moment. And you know, I'm gonna really hold those sweet boys near to me. And then when they're not around and I'm actually really enjoying myself, I feel like I've dropped the ball as a dad in a big way. And then I do also miss them. Like beyond the next feeling is actually, it's not just the guilt of not missing them. I actually do then miss them after a while. So I'm not sure if having a completely carefree, responsibility free day is what dads necessarily want.
They're not going to
Like the
gain
perfect,
anything from it, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
they're not going to be as relaxed as you think they might be. You might think, I'm going to give them a completely child-free day. And I think most dads that I know don't want a completely child-free day. Maybe a few hours of child freedom would be great, but we still want to like fulfill that identity of fatherhood in some way, shape, or form. So I was thinking about the answer to this question, and as I'm thinking about the things that I would say I would want to do in my perfect day off, I'm realizing how old I'm becoming
Oh, do
because
tell.
they, they don't involve skydiving or like climbing the mountain or going on an insane party on a beach. It's like I want to have a good 3 hours to properly sort out my garden.
Mm.
you know, I I would love to fall asleep in my hammock reading a book. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe going for a walk with my boys and kicking the ball around. That sounds like fun. Then having a braai at the end of the day, where when I'm saying having a braai, as in I have to do the braaiing and the making of the salad, it's not me sitting down and just having a beer and having braai meat. It's me doing all the labor of getting the braai going. I want those things actually. I don't want
Yeah.
to sit around and have someone else braai for me. I want to do it myself. So I think those are the things that I immediately come to mind. But I can't say just on the aging thing. Um, I went out a few times this leave, like to like nightclubs.
Wow.
where I danced with
What was
friends.
that like? How are your
It
knees?
was the next day they weren't great. I'm not gonna lie. And I definitely left these parties while they were still like about to get to their peak because it was 2 a.m. in the morning and I just could not go on. So it wasn't even like I closed the place down, but I had a really good time. It was nice. It was weird being the kind of older guy on the dance floor. On the one hand, you feel a bit creepy. On the other hand, you feel completely free
Mm,
because you're not trying to look cool. You know you don't look
mm,
cool, right? You're sitting there, you're dancing, you're having a good time, you're having a drink with friends. At no point do I feel, oh man, I look so cool, or I should try to look cool because I'm trying to attract other people. No, I'm an old married man. I'm going to just dance and chat with my friends and laugh maybe a little bit too loud. And, maybe people start to form a little bit of a distant sphere around me, kind of keeping away from the old guy. But that was fine. So on the one hand, yes, it did feel kind of weird being the old guy there. But on the other hand, it was kind of liberating because I could just enjoy dancing and having a good time with friends in a way that I maybe couldn't have done when I was 20. So that
sure,
was
I
cool.
hear you. Yeah, that's a good thing about aging, definitely.
So for me, perfect day at this point in my life, and I want to keep permission to revise this year on year. Uh, some gardening, some downtime, some family time, and some party time.
Okay. Terence's ideal day off on the 11th of January 2023. That'll be noted. We will revisit this episode again in a year's time and see what you've added or taken away. I I will now, having listened to you talk all that, say all of that stuff. If I go back on my answer then, because I haven't completely formulated mine to be marked as the 11th of the 1st, 2023, Sean's ideal day leave, the sense of responsibility I have is definitely inherent, and it feels like it's something that I've carried for childhood. And I said that earlier. But I also like spending time with my family. And I don't know if that's
Mm.
because I have so few friends. So, like if they're not around, I'm really lonely. So, like, quality time with them is a real bonus. But I don't know that there's something that I could say off the bat that I really am looking forward to doing and I can't wait to get a chance to do it. Right. So on my first day's leave, that's the thing I'm going to do. However, the idea of not having any responsibilities, my ideal days off or ideal weekends, when I think back on them, have always been those days that sort of unfolded. So they weren't necessarily
Mm.
regimented plans or things that I was wanting to get done, but they happened because I had the freedom to explore those things for however long I felt like doing them. So listening to you talk about ending the day with a braai, that just sort of happens because the sun's going down and the meat's already here and we've got some things, we're going to throw it together. That sounds like the perfect way to end a summer's day, or maybe even a winter day. Um, the rest of the day would kind of naturally unfold. I don't want to be bored, right? But I would like the opportunity to pick up a book or play a computer game that I haven't done for years, or go through my emails and clear it out, or do something active simply because I have the opportunity to, right? So the fact that the calendar is cleared and there are no expectations for me to do stuff and I can choose how
Mm.
that day unfolds, that does sound pretty ideal. But I don't necessarily want to do it without my family. And that,
Totally. Yeah.
right?
So you don't want a timetable on your day off. You don't want a
Correct.
on at 10 a.m. Shauno has to do this. At
Yeah.
2:30 he should be doing this.
Yeah.
Now, I brought up this exact topic with my wife about our leave and how we're going to think about our leave, and she made a very good point that the
She
day
generally
you just
does, let's just say.
yeah, it's not surprising that she made a very good point
No,
because
yeah.
I think I still have quite a childish idea about what exciting and happy and fun days, how they happen. And she has quite a mature perspective where she is like, everything that you've just described, those are all great things. They don't just happen. Not
Mm,
anymore, not at this age. We're not 16 having nothing ahead of us and going, hey, should we bride this evening? Okay, cool. And then there's miraculously meat in the fridge. But actually, it's because mom and dad had put meat in the fridge for the eventuality to happen. So there is a level where you do have to prep for an unprepared day.
I hear you.
Like you need to have all of those aspects ready so that when when you want to work through your emails, your laptop has to be charged so that you can do that.
Thanks, load shedding.
Yeah, thanks, load shedding. ESCOM all the way. If you want to see your friends that day because you're like, hey, I want to see my friends today, you have to actually connect with them a few days before because it took us 6 months to actually see each other in person because our lives are just busy. So there is a level of preparation that needs to happen or that someone needs to do to give you that perfect day. And here's the thing. I don't think you have to be the person to prepare it.
Oh,
this is where having good friends and a good partner come into play.
Okay, everything you've said up until that point, I can totally be on board with. But I have far too much of a controlling personality that needs to be involved in in some way. Like if we're gonna go to the extent of planning some stuff and you don't tell me any of it, and then I'm supposed to just roll with it, but you know what we're gonna do and I don't know what we're gonna do, then I that makes me uneasy. That doesn't make me very chilled.
No,
Sorry.
no. This is what I mean though. It's not that you don't get to decide or that you don't get to plan. What I mean is all the potential things that you want to do need to be prepped for. And so it's like a choose your own adventure book.
Oh,
You're still
okay.
in control,
Oh, and
but
I
you
love
go
those.
left.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You go left and you say, I want to see friends today. And the person that's prepared your day for you has gone, okay, well, I know that these are the 3 friends you want to see. And I've already called them and they're free and they're waiting for you at the pub down the road. Great. Or I want to read a book that I haven't read in a long time. Oh, well, here's a favorite book that I know you haven't read in 5 years. And there's the place in the garden with a chair ready to sit down. That's what I mean. So
Oh, goodness.
it might be the worst day ever for your partner, but it would be the
Yes.
best day ever for you.
And like as you're listening those things, I'm like, that's lovely. But now I've just shirked my responsibilities onto somebody else. And as a person that really struggles to let go of their responsibilities, this idea of adding that to somebody else's plate doesn't sit well with me. You know what? Maybe we need to have an ideal day leave where we have to actually book a holiday day, right? Like to the
Okay.
extent where I'm going to stay in a hotel or self-catering or whatever the case is, but I'm going somewhere and the activities that are on offer when I am there are the things that I might dabble in, whether it be sitting at the beach, enjoying a wine tasting. I don't gamble, so I'm not going to say that.
No, no.
You know, so
Going surfing or
yeah, exactly.
paddleboarding
Whatever's
or
on offer
whatever.
in that space, those are the things that I'm going to engage in. Maybe that might help.
I like that, but then you do have to put yourself in a space where the potential, like, if I wouldn't take any time off on a golf course, for instance, because I don't play golf. There would be a very limited amount of options for me, but I totally love that idea. Of course, I think as good, caring husbands that we are, like you're saying, we don't want to put that burden onto anyone else. And I guess I know for me, and I'm fairly certain for you, we'd probably want to do something like that for our wives first.
Yeah.
Like give our wives that day before we give it to ourselves, which is fine, I guess. That's good. That's a servant-hearted a way of being a husband. But I just want a day like that. That just sounds so good.
My wife had one. You're quite right. She had one in December when her best friend was down. They disappeared off to a spa and they spent the entire day.
There we go. Okay, so she's had her day. It's time for you to have your day. It's time for you to have whatever your version of a spa is. So I do sound, because I know my wife's going to listen to this because she's a great wife in that way. I sound like such a selfish person, right? Because I have had a few very great days during my 3 weeks leave. My birthday was a day like that where it was very relaxing. Pretty much anything I wanted to do, we did. We had it was a really, like, it was very close to the day I'm describing. So it
Yes.
sounds like I haven't had days like that, but I've gotten close enough, I think, that at this point in the year, I feel refreshed and my cup is filled. So Julie, if you're
Good.
listening to this, thank you for being that partner that has figured out how to give me a good day. I need to say that because I'll be in serious trouble if I. If you're listening and you're like, I want to give Shauno and Terrence just a holiday, you now know what we need. Maybe you run an Airbnb. Maybe you run like a nice little bed and breakfast somewhere. If you think that it'll fit our fill in our gaps, so to speak, then please let us know.
No, you're quite right, though. After the 3 weeks, I do definitely feel like I have the energy to go on for 2023, right? I have, and then that's when you start. For me, I know I've rested if I'm starting to think creatively again and I'm coming up with ideas and I'm excited to try and implement them. Now, I guess I need a day off to implement the ideas. That would be my ideal leave.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
Found it.
Imagine we had a day just to work on Have You Asked Your Dad?
Imagine.
Like, imagine where all of the plans, because we have listeners, I need to tell you, we have notebooks full of ideas and plans for this, but we don't have time to execute all of them. And where we could just like get the ball rolling on all of our plans. That would be truly amazing. But to get two fully grown men to have the same day completely free in 1 year is almost impossible.
It's near
I don't want to say it's
impossible.
impossible, but it's as
No.
close to impossible as to make it impossible. So
Well, I'm going to look at my calendar and I
okay,
will see when I can put leave in, and let's see if we can cross-reference our leave dates.
How's the 18th of March 2042? Is that looking good for you? Because that's the last day earliest day I have free.
Wow, okay. Yikes.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Have You Asked Your Dad? Or if you are watching this on YouTube or wherever I've placed it, thank you for watching it there as well. Really appreciate you spending the time with us. And we would love to know what questions you think dads should be asked. So what questions do you think just don't get directed to dads enough? Let us know. Send it through to hyaydpod@gmail.com or get hold of us on Instagram. Just search for Have You Asked Your Dad? But from Shaun and I, we'll see you next week. Cheers for now.